In this video, I'm talking about the 4 tips for a healthy pregnancy so that you can feel your best all the way to birth. Coming up. Hey, I'm Annabelle with Pearently, helping you give birth naturally. We bring you weekly videos to build your confidence in birth. If you're new here, then consider subscribing and ring that bell to stay up to date with our latest videos. We've also put together our 4-step process to a natural birth, and you can check that out in the description below. Let's get into this video. So today we are going to talk about your health during your pregnancy, and we are going to talk about some very important things to consider and implement into your life during your pregnancy. Number 1 is drink water. Water is extremely important for life before you're pregnant, and it's very important during your pregnancy. You're constantly losing water. You're talking, you're sweating, you're breathing, and you're losing water. And we are made up of over half of water, and now you have a baby growing inside of you that is swimming in a liquid that really requires you to drink fluids to maintain that little swimming pool that your baby's swimming around in. Also, fluid is very important to make sure that your bladder is continuing to stay flushed out and that there is no infection growing inside of your bladder, your urethra, or any part of your urinary tract. So as a guideline, when you're pregnant, you should be drinking around 60 to 100 ounces of water a day. To kind of put this in a comprehensive way, you should be drinking around 12 glasses of water a day. The best thing to do is to get a really cool water bottle that you enjoy carrying around, easy to carry around, and always keep it full of water and continue to just keep track of how many times have I drank all of this and how many times have I refilled today. So try to keep track of your water and make sure that you are drinking enough to keep your urine a clear color. If your urine starts to get dark or if it starts to get a little bit of an odor, then you need to start drinking more water. Now when I say water, that is a very important element. I'm not just saying drink any fluid. We often want to reach for soda, maybe ginger ale while you're pregnant to help the nausea, sports drinks because of the electrolytes. It's really important to just be drinking plain water when you're pregnant. Now, you can add lemon, lime, cucumber to give it a little bit of flavor. If you get to a point in your pregnancy where you're vomiting so much that you're just losing too many fluids, your doctor might recommend that you drink a drink that has electrolytes in it. Here at Pearently, we don't necessarily recommend drinking those sodas because of the high sugar content. And we don't necessarily recommend sports drinks either. We really want you to get those electrolytes if you're losing them through your vomiting, but you can get those electrolytes by drinking coconut water. We recommend Roar. Different drinks that have low sugar but still have those electrolytes are good. Now let's talk about caffeine. I don't know about you, but I love coffee. So while you're pregnant, ACOG recommends that you do not drink more than 200 milligrams of caffeine per day. What does that mean? Well, 1 cup of coffee, about 8 ounces of coffee, has approximately 95 milligrams of caffeine in it. So to be safe, it is not recommended that you drink more than 2 8-ounce cups of coffee a day. And when I say coffee, I mean coffee, plain coffee, not a shot of espresso, not necessarily frappuccinos that have a lot of sugar in them, but just plain coffee. If you want to add some cream, you can. But you really want to try to limit your sugar intake during your pregnancy. All right, now that we've talked about fluids, let's move on to food. Here's where I'm going to encourage you to eat and consider your calories. During your pregnancy, you're not just eating for yourself. You are now feeding your little baby growing inside of you. And it's very important to consider eating an additional 300 calories per day. So before you got pregnant, Dr. Boyd recommended that you know your BMI, your body mass index. He recommended that it be less than 35, and he also recommended that you know what your caloric intake should be each day. So say that you are a woman that needs a 1,500 caloric intake per day. During your pregnancy, you should be eating around 1,800 calories per day. It's very important that you include your 3 macronutrients. Macronutrients are food groups that are important in large amounts in our diet. So carbohydrates, fats, and proteins are the 3 macronutrient categories. When we talk about micronutrients, then we're talking about vitamins and minerals. We need them in smaller amounts compared to our macronutrients. It's important to include all three of these food groups during your pregnancy. Let's talk about carbohydrates. When we eat carbohydrates, we want to eat whole carbs. This isn't what we see in everyday life in America. It's super easy to be running around in town and be hungry and grab a Snickers bar or a cinnamon roll or some candy, and these are not the macronutrient carbohydrates that our body needs, especially during pregnancy. We want to be eating things like brown rice, quinoa, sweet potatoes, a homemade loaf of bread with wheat flour. These carbohydrates have more than just a simple carbon chain in them, which means that our body gets more from these carbohydrates than it is getting from a highly processed simple carbohydrate. The other problem with the processed carbohydrates is the amount of sugar that is in them. We really want to limit the amount of sugar that we're consuming during our pregnancy. With increased sugar and possible insulin resistance, you have a risk of gestational diabetes. So we want to make sure that we're eating whole carbs. The second macronutrient is the fat. Now, when you eat fat, let's try to skip the fast food line and maybe eat some healthy fats. I'm talking about nuts, seeds, avocado, olive oil, salmon. These healthy fats are incredibly important for your body. Your cells need healthy fats. Don't be afraid of fat. There has been a lot of word in the past saying that if you eat fat, you have increased risk of heart disease. And research is really showing that our bodies need fat. We just need healthy fats. It's the fast food, fried, drive-through fats that are possibly causing the heart disease, as well as the high sugar in our diet. It's not these healthy fats that are going to cause heart disease. So make sure you're including these during your pregnancy. The third macronutrient is protein. Now, women, we don't like to eat protein as much as men. We're not trying to build all this bulky muscle, but protein is very important. We need it in our bodies, and it's important that you increase your protein during pregnancy. It is recommended that you get 75 to 100 grams of protein per day. So the way you can do this is eating some chicken breast, a lot of chicken breast to get that protein. You can also include some proteins into your diet, such as hemp protein or whey protein, smoothies with some protein in them. Eat your hard-boiled eggs, but it is important to get some protein in your diet. Now we're going to talk about greens and fiber in your diet. Fiber is very important during your pregnancy. Because of the hormones that are affecting our GI tract, the mobility of our gut slows down. Because of this, we can get constipated very easily, and that is not comfortable. So by increasing your fiber, you're going to help get things moving along and try to prevent constipation. Now with the greenery, greens are packed with vitamins and minerals that are very necessary during pregnancy. Now, it's important that you continue to take your prenatals and make sure that you're getting your 1 milligram of folic acid during your pregnancy. But it's also important to be eating some greens such as salads or sprouts, broccoli, spinach, and so on during your pregnancy to just keep upping those vitamins and minerals. Green tea is also very beneficial. You can drink some matcha during your pregnancy. This will help soothe you, calm you. Super good during pregnancy, so I definitely recommend that. All right, let's talk about number 3, rest. Rest is going to be super important during your pregnancy. You're going to feel very fatigued, especially during your first trimester. This is when baby is doing most of its development. By the end of your first trimester, baby is going to be completely developed, and from there, he's just going to grow. So during your first trimester, your body's getting used to pregnancy, and you're going to feel like you just want to sleep all the time. After your first trimester, you might get some more energy, but it's still important to consider sleep. We really recommend that you try to get at least 7 to 9 hours of sleep at night. Now, for you working moms, or if you have children at home already, this might be a little difficult, but it's super important to try to create a schedule, talk to your partner, talk to your children about the importance of you getting sleep. Turn that phone off or stop looking at it within an hour of going to bed. Maybe read a book, drink your tea to relax you. If you get in bed and within 30 minutes you just can't go to sleep, you're tossing and turning, get up, walk around, try to find a different spot that's more comfortable. But make sure that when you lie down, you get comfortable and you can go to sleep pretty quickly. All right, let's talk about intimacy now. This is such an amazing time. You are growing a human being inside of you, and you are probably very appealing to your partner right now. Be okay with it. Have fun. Let him cuddle you. Spend time in bed. And know that intercourse is safe during pregnancy. You are not going to harm baby. You're not going to initiate labor. At most, you might rock baby to sleep. So be okay with getting in bed with your partner and resting and having an intimate time together. All right, so the third part of this rest segment is talking about letting your gut rest from food. So during your pregnancy, you are going to be hungry and you're going to want to eat more. We at Pearently recommend that you consume your calories during the day and try to not snack during the night. At first, this might be hard, but it's very important before pregnancy and during pregnancy to have a cutoff time for when you decide to stop eating for the day. Snacking, especially when you eat carbs, can spike your blood sugar and then you have crashes. And it is very tiresome for your pancreas to be constantly secreting insulin if you're snacking all the time. So during the day, of course, with nausea and just with being hungry, you're going to feel like you want to snack through the day. Small meals are good, and that is completely safe during the day. But we apparently recommend that you have a time after dinner where you say, I'm going to stop eating for the day, and then go 8 to 12 hours during the night without eating. And then you can get up in the morning and have a very big breakfast filled with whole carbs, healthy fats, and high protein. So try to think about how you're going to do that. If you need to go with the 8-hour segment, that is completely fine. It is very important to practice not eating during the nighttime hours for the sake of your blood sugar and to let your body heal. Let your cells get the garbage out, the toxins out that have built up through the day, and to help you rejuvenate for the next day. Now let's talk about exercise during your pregnancy. Dr. Boyd did recommend that you start an exercise routine before you get pregnant. This is because during your pregnancy, your blood volume increases, you have a sensation of being short of breath, and you're fatigued. So to start an exercise routine during pregnancy can be very difficult, but it is not impossible. So if you have not started to exercise yet, we definitely recommend exercising during pregnancy. We don't recommend that you kill yourself lifting weights every day of the week. A 30-minute walk each day at a brisk speed, keeping your heart rate at least at 120 beats per minute, is completely healthy. If you make sure that you walk every day during your pregnancy, you will dramatically decrease your risk of having a C-section. So get up off of those couches, chairs, whatever you're sitting on, and get walking today. On top of walking, it is recommended that you do some strength training during your pregnancy, especially during the first trimester. You don't have a big belly bump in the way yet. You can still go to the gym, lift some dumbbells, do some push-ups or planks, especially during your first trimester. Completely safe. But keep in mind that during your second and third trimester, you want to continue walking. Walk, walk, walk.
Thanks for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, and check out our 4-step process to a natural birth in the description below.